Hello, this is a prepaid call from a prisoner at the Michigan Department of Corrections. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse it. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
There's so much that I want to say. It would take 4 or 5 phone calls with recording it at least, and I still wouldn't have everything off my chest. I had to think of a lot of dirt and a lot of things and stuff I had already put out of my mind. I don't know. It's tough. I've lost my wife. I've lost one of my sons over this. I lost a daughter I really never knew that much anyways. I just got custody of. And all my property, pretty much everything I've ever owned, I've lost now. I've worked for my whole life for it. I've lost it. My father told me at a young age that time is the most valuable thing in this world, and if you waste it, or it is taken from you, you can never get it back, not for any amount of money. If you ask me what I regret the most, it is not being there to take care of my mother and being an uncle to my niece. I was locked up 9 days before her second birthday. I had been in prison for 10 years. I watched her grow up through pictures. I just want to be with my family, grow old, and die an old man in my bed. That would be the perfect end of my life. Thank you. First thing about being inside is all the deaths I've had to suffer. For my family not being able to be there for the memorial services or funerals.
I guess it took me losing my mom to realize what I've been putting my family through for all these years, even the time that I was free out there, what I was causing for heartbreak. Just not being able to help my family.
For me, the hardest thing about being here is the things that you lose. The time that you've lost, the special moments that you've lost, the experiences that you've lost over the years. Say, for instance, my son is, first steps, first day of school, homework assignments, first girlfriend, them are things I'll never get back, never be able to be experienced with him. They're just gone. My mother, when she passed away, I don't get a chance to say my goodbyes. I don't get a chance to do none of that. So once the moments come and go and you're not part of them, you never get a second chance to experience them or be part of them again. So that's what I miss the most.
Kind of feel like in here there's really not much of a purpose. We're just waking up and going through the motions just to do it all over again tomorrow. A lot of us in here don't have a chance to get any words out there. We feel like we don't have a voice. So, this sounds like our voices are going to be heard.
All I'm doing is existing, and I'm not doing nothing more than existing. So, it's like I'm dead to everybody, I guess you could say. Not for people to know that, I'm still alive, and I would love to have some friends, And I'm not a total bad guy, I've just made a lot of mistakes in life. And I don't think that what I have done is enough reason for people to just forget that I exist and not even attempt to communicate with me at all. I like to think that I would forgive them if they did something, There's 1,000 little things I miss, but after a while you just become numb to it all.
I was out there, though, I was more worried about me than I was them. Sometimes you don't know what you got till it's gone, you know. It's hard. They took me to a trip to the hospital Thursday. It's about 2.5 hours away. And it felt so strange going out into the real world. Well, I say real world, I mean, you know what I mean. And it was so odd because they took me to the city and there's a college there next to the hospital. Just seeing everybody walk around, it's like they took me in there in shackles and handcuffs and everybody was just staring, you know, and it just felt so uncomfortable. The guard stopped at KFC on the way back, and they parked in the parking lot. They sit there and ate that food in front of me, with me in the back seat, and it just hurt so bad, you know, just watching them eat that food. And I got so depressed, so I was just looking around and I was thinking, man, if I could have anything out here right now, like, you know, all the stuff that I see that I ain't seen in so long, what would I want? And there was a broken bottle in there in the grass next to the parking lot we was parked at, and I was like, all I could think about was how much I wanted that piece of glass from that bottle so I could cut myself. With all the stuff around me, you know, to take in, all I could focus on was a little piece of glass. I just got so depressed, and you know, I'm in the hole right now, and getting to get out and see other stuff would be a great experience, but it was just miserable. I mean, I was miserable, and I couldn't wait to come back to prison to get put back in the hole. That's all I could think about was, oh man. And on the way back, I just kicked back and I closed my eyes. I didn't even look at the trees or nothing. I just got so depressed. And what triggered it was them eating in front of me. I know, but it's just hard. Once you get in here, you become so numb to everything. It's good for me to actually think about something other than what I normally think about in here. And it feels good to be able to help you or whoever maybe this could possibly help. It makes me feel good to be able to contribute something.
I wish that the court system would have seen me and my mental illnesses, but Idaho don't see a mental illness as a problem, so they just send you to prison anyway. And they don't help you at all.
You never know how much you really miss having something to do until you don't have anything to do. You're absolutely helpless. Anything you want to do, you don't really have the power to do it. But right now, I'm happiest when I'm thinking of my kids. The fact that after 9 years, they want to get to know me. Got a couple pictures. And that actually made me happy. Happier than I've ever been for quite a few years. More than 15 actually. I actually kind of think about things like this regularly. I'll be in the shower just all of a sudden, I miss hot water. It's a cold water day. And then I'll stop and think about, what do I really miss?
Driving is what I miss the most. I know that makes it sound weird, but it's the freedom of just getting into a vehicle and just getting on the road and roll the windows down and turn the music up and just, just feeling like closest thing I could get to flying, to being free. Honestly, it's been a little uncomfortable. I didn't want you to judge me after I told you what was the hardest thing about being in prison for me, because I still feel like I have to think and act like a criminal in order to survive in here. And I don't want people to think that about me. I want people to trust me and to know that I'm a good person and to, be able to talk to me and trust me with things that they have going on. I want to be a good friend. I want to be a good brother. I want to be a good father. I want to be a good person. And for me to have to admit that I still have to think and act like a criminal sometimes, even though that's not what I feel inside that I truly am, was really uncomfortable. I haven't had a lot of communication where I can open up with a lot of people. It's not the safest place to just volunteer information when you're in prison. So basically, I'm real guarded. Well, I'm the happiest when I am who I am, but I don't hide it. And also when I'm with my other half. It's good to know that people out in society actually care about people in here.
It's a very lonely place in here. Yes, we've been around other inmates and whatnot, but if you talk to individuals, they are just very, very lonely. You have to have hope in here. If you don't have hope, you will not survive. I did get out for 1 year when I was on parole, and it was so hard for me after being in for 7 years to adjust to society again. When I got out and I was on parole for that year, it was very, very difficult to follow their rules and their stipulations. And frankly, one of them even told me, my parole officer said that, well, you should be doing more time, you should be out on parole. And she said, I'm going to do my best to make sure you go back to prison. And she did, she put me back in here. So, it's hard to really build up that empathy when you have so many things going against you. And I look back on the abuse that I had as a child, and I think, okay, yeah, it was pretty rough. The problem is now is that we're housing us.
1 minute remaining.
And they're keeping us here longer than we need to be, and they're not giving us the help that we need to better our lives. It's scary to live in a private prison because you're in a prison where they want to make money. That's their main goal. And it's a multi-billion-dollar business.
Over half of the inmates in our prison systems are doing time for drug-related offenses and other non-violent type crimes.
You have 1 minute remaining.
Locking everyone up is not the answer. The system as it stands is a total failure. Take the profit out of incarceration and make it profitable to rehabilitate.
Thank you for using GTL.
My contemplative moments are like motes of dust, swirling in bright beams, burning through the shadows. Each a thing I mean to do, a regret, an unfilled dream, a tear, a kiss, a goodbye. I live in these siren flashes, sucking at them like a leech, getting fat on the suffering. Time is a terrible circle, closing in on itself, cutting away at an empty heart. I search in vain for the moment I grew too large in my loss. I turn to this flailing morbidity from an elusive future to a ransacked past. There's no light here. Not really. These nostalgic pyres are meaningless as tears in the rain. But things continue to grow, and I claw for my redemption. Across my Rubicon, alone in my grave, beholding only echoes of all the people I used to be, I wonder what God would deem it just for an old man to suffer the follies of an arrogant youth.